Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday morning podcast for Monday, July, I don't know what, 29, 30, what the fuck is it? Monday, July 29th, 2024. Whoa, what's going on? How are ya? How's it going? Oh, Billy Goodmood. Oh, Billy living life. Feeling good today. You know? Yeah, I don't know if you like me. When everyone around me starts going negative, I go positive. That's what I do. But then when everybody goes positive, I kind of go, hey, take it easy. All right, relax. It's not that good. I don't know what it is. I'm a fucking cunt. That's what it is. I just figured it out. Yeah, so anyway, I'm fucking hanging out, right? I'm working here. I'm working over here, shooting this fucking thing, a thing I can't talk about, but it's something that I'm shooting, right? And then everybody's, oh, it's raining. Oh, no, right? It's fucking rain. Well, fucking shoot the thing that's inside then. Jesus fucking Christ. What is it, your wedding day? Oh, my God. Is there anything fucking worse? This is my belief. It's my belief. Fingers Freddy. Sorry, I got energy today. I haven't had coffee yet. I'm sipping on one. Only had a couple of sips. All right. This is Billy Freckles, 56 years old, well into his prostate Cialis years, high on life. Did I tell you, me and my wife took a little staycation? And I brought that acoustic guitar. I told you guys that. And I kept calling myself Billy Cialis. I go out on the porch in the morning. Underrated, an acoustic guitar on a porch in the morning as an adult, which I don't know. It's borderline whether I am or not. But I think you should just keep that kid alive in you. Is there anything sadder than the person that says that? That they've made this psychotic, deliberate choice to keep the kid alive in them, and you're going to have to hear about it throughout the entire fucking social event you're with them. You're out there, whatever the fuck, you know. Then they have some sort of weird something about their outfit's going to be weird. Just to let you know that they're not in the matrix the way you are, that they haven't bought into conventional wisdoms, that they think outside the box. It's the same banker cunts fucking come up, you know, and gouge their check every fucking week. You know, you're not outside the matrix. You want to be outside the matrix, you go out in the fucking woods. You go live in the woods. You go live in the woods like some dirty white person. That's what's out there. You know, it's funny. In America, you don't find too many like other races of people living out in the middle of nowhere. That's a white person thing, and then you go out there and you're living in the woods, and then you get dirty, and then next thing you know, you're just another dirty white person living off the grid. You know, I don't like bankers as much as the next guy, but I've seen what the alternative is, and I'll take the fucking ass raping. I would much rather be in a fucking house, you know, watching sports, getting ready for the next holiday, whatever the fuck it is, having my check get fucking gouged, than to be out there fucking trying to trap rabbits, knowing there's not enough whatever the fuck you need. What do they call that? Rabbit starvation? Fuck all that. Mountain lions, bears. I'll tell you what's funny about people in the woods is they fucking talk to bears. It's the funniest shit ever. They go, hey, 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 you bear, hey! No, stop it. Hey, you girl. They try to... It's fucking hilarious because if there was some crazy fuck that came on on the subway, on your subway car, and was wielding a knife, you would not be going, hey, what you knock, you sit out, you, put that down. Dude, a fucking bear has got like 5 knives, butcher knives, on each fucking paw, times 4. He's got 20 knives. Fucking sitting there talking to the goddamn thing. Do you see that guy? He, like, the fucking black bear got into his backyard, so he casually walks over and opens the gate, and everybody's saying, get away from that fucking thing. And then as it goes through, he tries to kind of like kick it in the ass, like keep going, and the thing went by, and he just fucking it was a black bear, little, not getting racist here, little fucking, just a little swipe, like a hey, if I wanted to. You should have seen the guy's side. It literally looked like a bear gave him half a swipe. His back, through his fucking shirt, immediately looked like, I don't know, like a bear or something was going like, hey man, if I fucking wanted to, don't show off in front of your friends, you fat cunt. It's a bear. Can't pronounce all the English yet. Evidently, they understand English. It's weird. Yeah, we here in America talk to bears. In Russia, they put them on bikes and make them do fucking shit with hula hoops. I don't know. Anyway, what I was going to say earlier was, if you're a man and you're getting married outside and it's raining out that day, just say forget it. Just say that is a fucking omen for your marriage that is basically saying everything in that relationship, even shit beyond your own control, is going to be your fault. That's what God's trying to tell you. When God makes it rain, not when he's at a titty bar like his son getting the prostitute, when God literally makes it rain. Can you imagine God talking to a rapper? You think you fucking make it rain? Is that what you think? Huh? You sell out a couple of venues? Let me tell you something. I am the venue. When I make it rain, I literally make it rain. You understand me? Don't ever fucking disrespect me like that. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. You put out 2-3 good albums, okay? That's good standing. All right? But what about all these side pieces over there? And that's when you got to look at God, take your grill off and just be like, listen, man, with all due respect, didn't you make the side pieces? Can we stop with the devil being your scapegoat all the time? Let's be honest. You made whores, and you made their fathers that didn't stick around. You made all of those people, didn't you? God's like, all right, you got me. I mean, what was I supposed to do? I mean, marriage wasn't your idea. That's some shit, that evil people came up with to try to control guys and make them not be able to go up the mountain, because every time they get halfway up, they get cut in half again, right? Isn't that what happened? What are we doing here? Can you imagine if God was a little more reasonable? Like in the afterlife, what was I supposed to do was actually a fucking decent response. You know what I mean? All the fucking evil shit that's going on, you're gonna jump on somebody for a side piece? Anyways, if it's raining on your wedding day, I mean, that is literally, remember the Bronx Tale? That is the lock the door test. If your fucking future wife, as in 20 minutes from now, can fucking roll with it and not have a giant, if she has a fucking meltdown like a fucking child, you're going to have a child with that fucking adult child? You're out of your fucking mind. All right? Your tuxedo, and your tails. I wonder if anybody's ever done that. Just came out in the rain and just said, listen, I'd be lying if I didn't say I had my doubts before this ceremony, but watching this behavior and just full-on meltdown, temper tantrum, yeah, I can't do it. I don't want to marry a child, and that's what I'm looking at right now. And it's something that I've been ignoring for a long time, and I apologize, and I will max out my credit cards, and I will pay for this whole thing, and then you walk out. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't just take off like a coward, like Jack Nicholson's character in 5 Easy Pieces. You know, I finally fucking saw that movie. Now, granted, this was before therapy. But, you know, to watch that movie when it came out, to put it in historical perspective, that was an amazing thing to watch, the anti-hero. Because up until then, Hollywood had all of these fucking movies that made you feel good, but you couldn't relate to them, right? You had all of these guys like Jimmy Stewart, John Wayne. It was just one happy ending after a fucking another. So then all of a sudden this new group of people comes along, right? The studio doesn't have final cut, and they start making these anti-hero movies. The anti-hero. The guy who just says, hey, you know what? Fuck you. And then they just roll credits, and that's how the movie ends. So you watch 5 Easy Pieces. It's a fucking amazing movie. I talked about this before, but I don't give a shit. Karen Black fucking kills it, as always. Jack Nicholson, I mean, he's just one of the great movie stars of all time. He kills it. And he's driving this Mercury Marauder, I think it was called. The Mercury Marquis replaced it. When I first saw it, I thought it was an Impala. And there was something about the back end. I'm like, that's not an Impala. And then I thought it was like some poor man's Impala, or maybe more of the luxury Impala. Like, I couldn't tell. And then it turns out it wasn't even made by GM. It was made by Ford. Ford used to be Lincoln, Mercury, and Ford when I was a kid. And then Chevy was Chevy, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and Cadillac. I want to say Lincoln had one other. I don't remember. But anyway, that fucking movie, the way, I don't want to ruin the movie, but the way he handles that relationship, that's not the way you do it. You got to sit down, and as Hootie and the Blowfish once said, let her cry until the tears come out like rain, and if the sun comes out tomorrow, da-da-da, I can't fucking remember. I don't. It was a long time ago. And I don't think I was ever sober and listened to Hootie and the Blowfish. I was always in a bar, right? Oh, my God, in the 90s. Remember when the ladies used to wear those cowboy boots that were only ankle high? You know, so they have jeans on. You thought they had on cowboy boots, but they're really like the flip-flop version of them. So it's sort of like a little trick. You know, that was their little nod, letting you know that you had a tiger by the tail. Like, what is this chick going to do? But then they became so mainstream that chicks started wearing them with like shorts on. And then it just looked like they had on hooves. You know, like there was some sort of centaur that finally had the money to get the fucking other 2-leg reduction surgery. Here's a question for you ladies. Could you date a centaur? You know what I mean? If he got an operation, okay? Oh, that says something different in mythology. From the waist up, it's a dude. From the fucking waist down, it's like a bull-legged donkey, and then it has horns. And I think this all came out to, like, there was no Tinder back in the day. You know, there was no dating websites and shit. You lived in the middle of fucking nowhere. People were dying right and left. And every once in a while, you banged a farm animal. You know? Something was going on back then. There was way too many, like, half-human, half-beast things in mythology. You know? And then you got these weirdo people to this day that are into like sci-fi movies, you know, that either have a room above a garage or a basement or something like that. And they're always wearing a fucking raincoat and are downstairs on their computer all day. playing games. There's like Middle Earth. There's always some sort of swords and shit. It's kind of a fascinating demographic, you know? Back acne, donuts, whatever the fuck it is. There's always some sort of weird cuisine, you know? When you're just left to your own devices, what ends up happening? What does your diet become? That's one of the things about being a loner that's dangerous. You know, when you don't have somebody in your life to be like, is everything all right with you? Hey, is it me? Or are you going a little fucking nutso there? That's when it's the end of the relationship. When the person you're with is too afraid to bring it up anymore. And I don't mean like some sort of violent fucking scenario where the guy's beating on the chick, okay? I'm not talking about that, all right, ladies? So put your buttons and your ribbons away, because that's not what we're talking about here. Remember that bar that had that hilarious sign? I like my beer the way I like my violence domestic. And it was so stupid. Like, everybody, like, flipped out. Not everybody, but enough people flipped out online that the person who made the sign got fired for, like, 3 days, and then they let him back after everything fucking went away. And it's just like, those people that got offended, it's like, all right, just out of curiosity, do you work at a shelter? Do you give them any money? Are you doing anything about the problem other than getting offended online and making sure a fucking barback gets fired for what's a really good joke as far as structure and all of that? And then also what I respect about the joke is you're not like, you're not being a people pleaser. You're not making sure the crowd likes you. You're not afraid of groans. So then I, as an audience member, can say, all right, well, at the very least, even if I'm not into this person, at least they're going to be telling me what they think, right? This is the weirdest looking table I've ever seen in my life. This looks like a fucking hat box with legs on it. What would you put in there? Round. You know, I'll tell you right now, that was... That's something that went away in this country, and I think when it did, this country became a little less great. Like Donald Trump, you want to make this fucking country again, great again? You want to make this country again? You want to make this country great again? You orange-headed cunt. And this is coming from a ginger. You got to bring back hat boxes. You know? Got to bring back gloves. You ever see those chicks in like the late 1950s? You know, back in a more simpler time in America. You know, segregation, Klan marching down the street. I love when my people go back and romanticize the past. It was great back then. Oh, was it? Or they over-exaggerate. Oh, man, you couldn't have survived the 70s and 80s. And they grew up in the suburbs. The suburbs. You grew up in a suburb. That's what I was trying to say. There it is. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. All these fucking jerk-offs that grew up in the suburbs like me are fucking acting like they grew up in the inner cities, you know, with fucking Uzis and a crack war going on down the street. You didn't. What did you do? Oh, did you ride your bike around until the street lights came on? Oh, wow. Jesus Christ. Did you get a Purple Heart for that, you fucking asshole? You drove around listening to Winger? I don't understand why, yeah, I know why it is, because younger people just remind older people that they're old. I think that that's what it is. I think that that's what it is. You know what it is? I think that that's what it is. So anyway, I'm supposed to shoot this thing today. It's raining, and everybody's fucking acting like this is the first time they've been on a goddamn set where it's raining out. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? We're going to fucking make an adjustment. I'm going to get out of this costume. I'll get my indoor costume, and we'll just fucking shoot that. I'm telling you right now, ladies, here's one for you. And there's been nothing for you so far in this podcast. which I would apologize for, but I'm not that emotionally. What do women say when you don't say what they want you to say? You're not emotionally evolved. Why? Because I didn't say what you wanted me to say? So if I said what you wanted me to say, all of a sudden now I have my fucking honorary doctorate in the emotions you'd like to have in this relationship? Tell you what, hey, sweetheart, you see that over there? You see that room over there? You know what that's called? That's called the kitchen. Why don't you go out there and fucking, make an effort? Okay? If I'm fucking still doing all the heavy lifting out here, why don't you go out there and pick up a butter knife, cut some fucking bread in half, and make a goddamn sandwich? How about that? All right? Before I bend you over the nearest piece of furniture. You ever do that with your girlfriend or your wife? You just go 1950s male on them just to see the look on their face? And after they slug you in the shoulder, just be like, just know that's the way it could have been. All right? So how about a little appreciation? Why don't you go fucking waddle your sweet ass out there in the kitchen and make me some grub? And as you say that, you got to wrap them up. You got to wrap them up, and then you got to lift that one leg up and put it across your body to cover your junk. All right? And if you're standing behind them when you do it, then you got to tuck in low so they don't give you the reverse headbutt. I know all the moves. Yes. I don't beat on my woman like P. Diddy, but I fucking definitely contain her. I would never hit my wife, but I can wrap her up like fucking nobody's business. And I'll tell you this, all right? I will tell you this, and you got no fucking choice. This is a one-way conversation, just the way an insecure man like me likes it. I haven't had to wrap my wife up in a long fucking time. I wish she was out here for that. Oh, yeah. Oh, back in the day. Oh, my lovely Nene. Oh, my God. She would get upset with me. And she used to call it being passionate, That's what they call it, when they start throwing hands. They call it being passionate. Yeah, I would just wrap her up. Just wrap her up, Just fucking maybe grab an arm, put her in a little arm bar. No, I would never do that. I would just wrap her up. Here we go. Here we go. Or a little head movement as you're backing up, and then you just close the door. And then you stay as they beat on the door. Try to bring it down. But that's when we were young and more volatile. Now we just look at each other and we just go, really? Really? And then the other person goes, all right, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. You're right. I will say this, and I will say it right now, and I won't be taking it back. Don't you love when people act like they're doing something super brave? I'm going to come out here. I came out here today to speak my truth. And then there's always some fucking couple of lame chicks in the crowd going, woo! I do not accept artificial sweetener in my coffee. Anyway, every once in a while, it'd be awesome if you could live off the fucking grid. How long do you think you could do this? If you could just live off the grid in a fucking, sick-ass house. Had electricity, had all the fucking shit. For some reason the government just doesn't know where you are. You got a cell phone. Let's just make it, impossible but true. You got cable. You got all the fucking games. All right? How many people would you, remember Name That Tune? I can name that tune in fucking 5 notes. And then the other person would be like, oh yeah, I can name that tune in 4 notes. And then I can name that in 1 note. And then they would just go, doom. And the guy would be, 1812 Overture. How did you do that? How many people could you what's the fewest amount of people you could live with? Now, I know there's a lot of men out there. Dude, I could I could be out there by myself for a while. And then someone would finally be like, yeah, you'd be jerking off the whole time. Well, no, I would have like a harem of chicks. That's not alone, buddy. That's not alone. And that's a lot of tampons that you can't go buy. Well, see, that's the thing. I would have one of those, those things that they have down at the wharf that they take off the ship and then put on. I would have one of those buried just full of tampons. Anyway, how few could you? There's definitely a part of me, when I watch when I listen to country songs, which a lot of the pop ones, they just the level that they just get down on their wranglered knees and just blow their audience is just it's unbelievable. I heard this song the other day, something about gravel in my driveway. Gravel in my driveway, skull banded in my lip. Driving my truck, I don't give a shit. It's just like, I get it, dude. You live in the country. Jesus fucking Christ. But anyway, when I'm on a job or whenever I'm out here in the fucking real world working, this definitely is a part of me. I don't know what it is. I definitely, as I've gotten older, I like the idea of living in the middle of fucking nowhere. What I don't like is the racism that when you get out, it just, I don't know what it is. You get out in the middle of nowhere, and the further away these people get from all of these people they don't like, the more they hate them. It's like, I think you did it, Whatever race of people you don't like, I think you've done it. I don't know that you're ever going to run into anybody of that group. Like, what is the fucking problem? That's the only thing I don't like, It's kind of funny how racists kind of have taken over the American flag. Have you noticed that? Like, that's kind of what that means now. When I see like a fucking flag hanging out there, I just go, oh, Jesus. That's when the guy goes, Bill, I tell it like it is, You're like, oh boy, here we go. Here we go. I just remember I forgot something. I'm going to get out of here. Anyway. I mean, that used to happen to me a lot when I was on the road. I would do my act, and I would just be hanging out with the locals when I was working in the middle of nowhere, and be like, Bill, I like your act. You just say what you're thinking. Yeah, I'm a lot like you. And I'd be like, all right, okay, it's how's your baseball team doing? That was always, here it comes. Here it comes. Which way is he going? Is he going to go in Mexico, China, black people? What's coming? All of the above. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. I remember this guy in the middle of nowhere with his fucking toupee. And what was so funny was I was the worst with that. You would think a guy like me going bald, you start noticing shit. I am the fucking worst. I can't pick out a fucking toupee to save my life. And the amount of times I've been back in the day, I'd be on the road and, old Billy No Tickets, right? And I would just fucking hang with the crowd afterwards. We'd all be drinking and shit. It was actually kind of fun, Especially the amount of times I got into fucking back and forth with people, and then I would just end up hanging out with them after. I told you guys this story a long time ago. I was working the Funny Bone in Springfield, Illinois, and there was this table of people, and they just wouldn't shut up. And I took a guess that they were farmers because there's a lot of farmland out there. So I just started doing this bit. I just started riffing, saying, I don't think farming's that difficult. I did this whole fucking bit about it, talking about all, I must have driven by 10,000 farms. They always, whenever you see a farmer on TV, they're always talking about, how difficult farming is. They're complaining that there was a frost. They always talk about how difficult farming is. And I got to be honest with you, I must have driven by 10,000 farms in my life. I've never seen anybody doing shit. I've never seen a farmer. There's zero activity. No one's ever on the tractor. It's a couple of cows standing around. The fucking place looks like it's abandoned. When is all this work getting done? I've driven by farms at 5 in the morning, 5 at night, 5 at 12. It doesn't fucking matter. I've never seen anybody mending a fence. Right, so I did that. And, of course, they start shutting up. And they start looking at me or whatever. They start heckling me. But they got like a smile on their face so I can see that that they're being, cool about it. Right, so we'll go back and forth. It's funny. I still remember that room because it was kind of not really a comedy club. It was kind of a bar that they had just sort of loaned the Funny Bone name to. This is a long time ago, though. So anyway, long story short, next thing you know, I'm drinking with these farmers, right? And we're hanging out. And one of them's going like, you want to see a hard day's work? Come out to the farm tomorrow. And I said, oh, yeah? He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm going to be out there, harvesting some corn. I go, all right, I'll go out there. He goes, really? I go, yeah, I'll fucking go out there. So I can't remember how the fuck I got out there. Next thing you know, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in a combine with this guy who was fucking heckling me the night before. We're fucking laughing and shit. And I remember we got like, I don't know how many rows we did. And all of a sudden the fucking combine broke down. And then all the joking went away. I mean, this is this guy's money here, right? So he takes out this fucking psycho-looking wrench and he's working on it. And he's totally quiet, but I can tell from the back of his neck how pissed he is. So I just finally said, I go, at any second, if you want, you can let out a couple of curse words. And he just goes, fucking cocksucker. We just start laughing. So then they had to walk in from the field. And he's like, I'll have my buddy come over. He'll help me. I will fucking get the thing going, right? So then he gives me a tour of his farm. And the one thing that I do remember was the pigsty. And my whole life growing up, my mother would be like, William Frederick, your room's an absolute pigsty. Get up there. I never realized what an insult that was until I saw an actual pigsty. And I saw one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life. There was this pig. It was staring at me, and it was eating whatever. And it was just sitting there, chewing. And then there was another pig perpendicular to him with its ass facing the pig's face. And without warning, the pig with its ass facing the other pig, it shot this fucking rainbow of diarrhea with a level of velocity that I'm still in awe of. It was like when you put your thumb over a hose, right? The rainbow of diarrhea was shooting clear over the other pig that's looking at me, just staring at me, chewing. So this rainbow of diarrhea, it lasted for I don't know, maybe 3 seconds, but it felt like an hour. And it was out of nowhere. So gradually the pig is, running out of shit. So that rainbow starts moving towards its ass. And it fucking went right up and over the snout of the pig looking at me. Like it landed on its snout and then it disappeared, up this pig's ass like one of those fucking 1995 garden hoses. Those ones that deflate and then, disappeared up its ass. And the pig looking at me never stopped chewing. And it had the other pig's shit not on its snout, like the shaft of its snout. It's weird, like the shaft of your cock, your fucking dick there, your Travis Kelce, whatever you fucking nicknamed your dick. It's fucking sitting. Yeah, that'd be the funniest thing ever if you fucking named your dick after a famous athlete. Hey, why don't you help me out over here with my Travis Kelce? With my Travis. My Kelce? No, you got to say the whole name. Travis. I like Travis Kelce. It's fucking, first and last name. I mean, all he needs now is his social security number. So anyway, it was so fucking gross. The joke I used to do in my act, I go, it was so fucking gross that I didn't eat bacon for almost 3 days. But then at the end, it's like bacon is so good. I'm like, well, the bacon's on the inside. You know what I mean? The fucking fur and all that. But I'll tell you, all you fucking adventurous people that eat like pig face and all of that. Oh my God, like pig cheek and all of that, pig ear sandwich. I'm telling you, that thing is, I hope they fucking boiled it. And I got to be honest with you, Jewish people and Muslim people who don't fucking get along, I'll tell you where they do get along when it comes to pork. And I would say somebody along the line fucking looked at those goddamn animals accurately and said, you know what, we should not eat this stuff. So hats off to them. Yarmulkes off and whatever the Muslim hat is. Do they have a hat? Every religion has a hat, right? We got the Pope hat. We got a bishop hat. Cardinals. We kind of took the yarmulke too, right? Is Catholicism sort of like the Led Zeppelin of, you know, Led Zeppelin for a while were like, yeah, me and Jimmy Page wrote it. All right, it was Muddy Waters. That is a shame about that band that they did that, because the reality is if the arrangements that Jimmy did were nothing like the originals. It's just that the lyrics were like the exact same sometimes. Like, I guess you can't do that, right? I still love them though. I love the originals and I love what they did with them. Anyway, plowing ahead here. Oh, I got to give a shout out. So I did Fresno, California. That's one of those cities that people make fun of, and I don't understand why people go after cities like that. Great people, there's a great theater, great coffee place downtown, and I got to give a shout out. You're not going to believe this. I got the best barbecue I think I've ever had in my life in Fresno, California, at a place called Mega Texas Barbecue, run by Anthony and Tasha. And I just randomly got an email. They said, hey, come by if you can. So I know Club Soda Kenny is a meat and potatoes guy. The most adventurous he'll get is barbecue. Like, you can't get the guy to, like, he grew up with the Betty Crocker cookbook, and he's not, you know, he would eat a casserole before he would go out and try, like, sushi. Tuna casserole, too. Oh, that was there's nothing worse than warm tuna. Anyway, so he sets it up. Me, Club Soda Kenny, and Nate Craig. We go in there. We deliberately don't eat. Drove up from L.A. Went right up to 99. And saw a couple of cool, uncontrolled airports on the way up there. Gave me some ideas there. And anyway, we showed up, and they just had a taste of the menu for us. We had ribs. We had brisket. We had this thing called a Texas Twinkie, which was a stuffed jalapeno pepper. It had like brisket and cream cheese in it and other flavors. It was out of this fucking world. They had something else they were calling a lollipop, which was like a chicken with bacon wrapped around it. I can't remember if it was on a stick or if it was just on the bone. That was unbelievable. All of their sides, their mac and cheese, their beans, their desserts. You know me, you know me. I don't eat desserts, but I was just like, fuck this. I got to have a spoonful of oats. I had their banana pudding and the best peach cobbler I've ever had. I fucking hate peach cobbler because my sister-in-law makes a good peach cobbler. But generally speaking, I always find it to be, it's almost like how old school coleslaw used to be when I was growing up. It was super runny and milky, and it was gross. It was fucking gross. No one knew how to make it, especially public schools. It was a fucking plate filler to disguise the fact that they weren't giving you like this quadrant needs to be filled up, and they take that stupid ice cream scooper and they would just put this fucking, ball of lactose just right. That was disgusting. And peach cobbler was the same way. Everybody was always too fucking runny. Theirs. And now, like coleslaw is like hearty now. It's fucking delicious. The way people make it. The same thing with this peach cobbler. It was like the hearty version of it. where it was way more like cobbler than peach. You know, I feel like whatever the butter and the peaches and all, it gets too fucking soupy. This wasn't like that. It was the perfect combination of the crumble and the peaches. Like, we did that gig Friday. It's now Monday. I'm still thinking about it. Mega Texas Barbecue. Family owned, family run. Started off as a food truck. All right, so there you go. You go to L.A., and everybody, oh, the Hollywood sign, the fucking, you know, the this, the that, the fuck all of that. Go down to Gardena Cinemas. All right? And go to G's Empire Tacos beforehand. Go to that one-screen cinema. I'm going to do a fucking movie night down there. I'm going to go down, because sometimes they have, like, people that were in the movies and shit. I'm going to go down there and just fucking, you know, once a month, just host a fucking movie that I liked. The first one I would do would be To Live and Die in L.A. Then I would do Pope of Greenwich Village the next month. I just got to figure out... I got to figure out what the third movie... I got my first two movies. Those are the first two that I would see. Cool, sort of a little obscure, like 80s shit is what I would start out with. Like movies that people forgot. All right, I'm just running my fucking yap this week. Whatever, I'm in a good mood. You know something? When I went to Fresno, I played the casino, and I love going to downtown Fresno. And this casino was nice, but it was like out of the way. So I was up there, and I'm sitting in the hotel room, and I'm fucking I got this depression. You know, that one of those things like there's no reason for me to be sad, but I am. I'm feeling fucking just, I don't know. Got the blues or whatever, and you start questioning everything. I tried my inhaling and exhaling and smiling to see if that works. It's funny, it works with anger, does not work with depression. It works with nerves, does not work with depression. So I fucking, but I went on stage and had such a great time. The crowd was so amazing. They just were a fun crowd, and they put me in this stupid mood. They was in a silly mood. I was too. And I came off stage, and I felt great, and all my depression went away. And I was just like, oh, this is why I do stand-up. I didn't realize that. This is another reason why. It literally fucking helps me. So I just want to thank everyone that came out to this show in Fresno. It was just such a fun fucking crowd. The amount of stupid shit that I was saying that was completely over the top. I don't think I got one groan. Everyone just laughed. They knew I was being an idiot. But I think they put me in such a good mood that they could tell I was fucking around. Because sometimes crowds groan because I'm not in a good mood. And then when I say something fucked up, it takes on a different kind of thing there. It takes on a different thing there. All right, let's... and I also watched, I've been watching my Red Sox. I love the dog days of summer. I fucking love this Red Sox team. All right, but the first 6 innings are just great every night. We're always in it or we're winning. And our bullpen, though, as my mom used to say, it leaves something to be desired. We got to get... I don't know what the fuck they need to do. It's not like these guys in the bullpen aren't throwing, in the 90s. It's just, I don't know if it's what they're throwing or the placement of it. I have no fucking idea. But, ever since the All-Star break, we've played like the Dodgers, the Rockies, and now the Yankees. I think we played Kansas. I might have missed this series in there. I can't remember. But we've scored enough fucking runs to have only lost a game or two, and we've only won a game or two. Not last night. Last night we got smoked. Lost like 8-2. But the night before, we lose 11-8. It's like we scored 8 runs. Like, how many fucking runs do we need to score to beat a goddamn team? And this is another thing, too. Like, the Yankees are a weird team this year. Where, like, they're only a game out and they're making a run, but there's something about them that's unstable. I can't put my finger on it. Because that kid last night that was pitching, and also, by the way, can the Yankees get over themselves and put their fucking last names on it? They way back in the day, they're like, when you know who the fuck we are. That's when they had Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and all of these fucking guys, or Lou Gehrig. That's how you pronounce it. But it's just like, I don't know who the fuck these guys are. I was watching this picture and I wanted to compliment them today on the podcast, but there's fucking I don't know, I got my kids running around, they're not saying the name. I don't know who the fuck this kid was, but the way he was switching his pitches up, the way he was setting hitters up, he was a really fucking good pitcher. So I'm sitting there going, I don't know, but there's something about the team though. I was really buying into him in May and June, and then the last couple of months, month and a half, I don't know, there's something I feel is still like missing. Not the way the Red Sox. The Red Sox, it's just it's our goddamn our bullpen and our base running. But the Yankees, I don't know what it is, because usually, if a team's that good, they're only a game and a half out. They look a little more solid. I don't know what it is. I don't watch them enough, but I was loving them. A couple months back, I was like, God, in a begrudging way, as a Red Sox fan, go, God damn, these fucking guys got a nice balanced team here, don't they? I don't know. It's weird. I got to watch them a little bit more. I will say, my favorite Yankee right now is the guy who's got the Don Mattingly mustache. I mean, somebody at least having a little bit of a personality. I mean, looking at Alex Verdugo, he looks like he's like, did you get arrested for drinking and driving last night? So now you're trying to look like a respectable. I mean, his whole vibe, like he had that fucking great beard and he had that chain and all of that shit. He had this whole fucking swagger when he came up to bat. Now he's coming up like, hello, Mr. Steinbrenner. Hey, don't worry, the game will be over before 10 tonight. I don't know why they do that to their players. Like, nobody's buying into this thing. Like, they're trying to make them like they're fucking astronauts. They're like military adjacent or something. It's like, you're not. It's a bunch of fucking free agents. They should have a Yankees barbershop when you sign with them, instead of the red and blue. It's just the Yankees colors. What are their colors? Jesus Christ, it's gray and... Is it gray and blue? It's a dark blue. You just have it in the Yankee colors with the white. They just take you in there. And then the GM gives you a fucking haircut. Like back when your dad used to fucking cut your hair. And your mother was like kind of being like, hey, we can take him to the barbershop. No, I know what I'm doing. Christ, I'm not going down there. Remember that shit? And your dad, they had that stupid fucking... They used to sell these things. It was like the home barbershop thing. And it would come in what looked like a Monopoly box. And you like the same shape, rectangle. And then on the cover, everyone was smiling. The little boy getting his haircut, the dad smiling, and then the mom smiling in the background. And the kid had the little apron around his fucking neck, standing on a high chair. And, oh yeah. That was fucking hilarious. My dad used to cut me and all my siblings' hair for about 5 fucking years. And we all basically had like the Mo from the fucking Three Stooges haircut. But we still had a partner hair. But it was just like, he would just cut the length of it, but he didn't take the thickness out of it. Like, I don't know what he was doing. He had no idea what the fuck he was doing. But like, that's what being a man was back in the day. Was I can do that. I can do that. You just this belief in yourself with this insecurity, like just saying you didn't know how to do something was so much more embarrassing than just saying you could do it and fucking it up was the choice that you made back then. So anyway, let me get to the advertising here. I'm gonna do a whole fucking hour running my yap. 49 fucking minutes. I haven't even got to your goddamn questions here. All right, Land's End. Having the right apparel is an extension of your brand. If you want to energize your brand, Land's End Outfitters will partner with you to provide clothing that unites your team and makes your brand stand out. Get quality apparel featuring your logo and colors, all designed by expert outfitters at Land's End. And with decades of outfitting expertise, Lands End Outfitters provide a seamless solution so you can focus on your business. Quality, comfort, and style you can count on. For more than 30 years, man, some of the world's top brands have relied on Lands End Outfitters to outfit thousands of employees. They design branded apparel people want to wear that fits. I have no idea what the fuck this is. What do they do? That fits everybody and delivers comfort. They design branded apparel. So is this like bootleg shit? Branded apparel that, let's just keep reading. Branded apparel that's anything but routine. Lands End Outfitters is the leading online supplier of branded apparel. I get it. They have all the top brands. It's not bootleg. They got all the top brands. You can go there, one-stop shop maybe. Whatever your business, they will create products tailored to your needs. Get branded apparel that keeps your employees comfortable and confident while creating a connection between your brand and the people who wear. Oh, they make your own uniforms. All right. You guys probably knew that from the beginning. Get email, chat, and phone support from expert outfitters willing to go above and beyond. Easy there. Set up an online store where employees can order the apparel they need without worrying about inventory. See why thousands of brands count on Lands End Outfitters. Go to business.landsend.com/Burr, B-U-R-R, and use promo code Burr, B-U-R-R, for 20% off your order. That's business.landsend.com/Burr, promo code Burr for 20% off your order. All right, with that, let's get to your, Jesus Christ, it's been all Billy Freckles this week. Let's get to you guys, for God's sakes. You guys got things you want to say. California. Hey, Billy the Best. Just wanted to add my 2 cents about California's governor. I volunteered. I don't want to get involved in this. I'm just saying the state that California is in has less to do with whoever's governor than it does for this never-ending war occupation we've had in Iraq. It's completely bankrupted us. This fucking state is gigantic. Something's going to suffer, and I don't think you can blame the standing Democrat or Republican because there's no fucking money. Anyway, the guy says, I volunteered on his campaign several years ago and drank the Kool-Aid that he would tackle homelessness and support legislation to protect homeowners against red tape with insurance claim. The reality is that insurance companies have received every caveat they've requested and done so with the stroke of his pen. Well, yeah, he's a politician. They're always going to side with the fucking bankers and insurance companies. You must be young. As far as homelessness goes, it was a clearly stated decision to not provide people with rehabilitation because it was argued as inhumane to make someone do something against their will. However, it is actually inhumane to provide someone with clean needles to make sure they don't die as quick, but inevitably die anyway, as they choose to do. As a state, we spent almost $100 billion on homelessness in the last 8 years, but there is never anything to show for the efforts. So this is him specifically. The homeless problem is his problem, and he was literally going to solve it by himself. Have you looked to see why people are homeless? People are homeless not because of the governor of your state. Okay, people are homeless because in the corporate world, somebody goes into a corporation, gets a job, and their job is to save the corporation money. So what they do is they just start firing people. They go into fucking departments and go, all right, there's 6 people in this department. Now there's only 3. You 3 are fired. Pack up your shit. See you later. You 3 now have to do the work of 6. If you don't fucking like it, we'll get somebody else in here that will. All right? And then at the end of the year, that CEO that came in and air quotes saved the company money takes those 3 people that they fired and all those other people that they fired, in the other departments, they take a sizable chunk of their salaries as a bonus, and they keep it for themselves. This is why the middle class is going away. This is right here. And then they buy themselves a bigger house and have an infinity pool that overlooks a fucking infinity pool. And then meanwhile, the people that got fired have to downsize their lives and have to go out and look for jobs that aren't fucking there because every corporation is doing this shit now. So then as they downsize their lives, the people that are in their lives that they can no longer afford, then they have to downsize their lives. Those people downsize. The next thing you know, there's people living under fucking bridges. That's what's happening. The distribution of wealth is completely out of fucking control because there's nobody watching these corporations anymore. We're also fighting this fucking war in Iraq, this occupation, and it's costing us fucking billions of dollars every month. That's why there's fucking homeless people, not because the governor wears a blue or a red tie. I am so fucking sick of people looking at the world that way. The fuck is he supposed to do? Support the troops, support the troops. Yeah, until they're homeless, living under a fucking, bridge, and then you have to look at them. And then this fucking governor needs to fucking get these fucking people out of here. It's like a lot of them are veterans, or they have mental health issues. And we used to fucking with their taxes pay for insane asylums and mental institutions, nut houses, whatever the fuck you used to call them. And then they fucking shut them all down. Because rich people didn't want to fucking pay for them. And then they put the people out in the fucking... This is not the governor's fucking fault. It's the people that own the governor. But all right. So anyways, so he didn't single-handedly solve the fucking homeless problem. All right. Well, all right. So this guy sucks now. I'm not saying he's a good guy either. I don't know anything about this guy. But I'm done blaming politicians. All right? They are all grossly underpaid. They are set up to be bribed by CEOs. The Supreme Court just made it legal to bribe these people. It's called a fucking gratuity now. So I don't know. If you think that these people are going to go in there and solve the problems of homeless people, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, plowing ahead here. I should stop being a douche and let this guy make his fucking point before I jump in. There's some guy screaming at his car radio right now. Or whatever his device that he's listening on. As a state, we spent almost $100 billion on the homeless problem, but there was never anything to show the efforts. Huge grants are given to private firms to build housing, but end up keeping the money, collecting interest on it, and using the excuse that it's just zoning issues getting in the way. Our governor is well aware of this and even vetoed a bill last month to require an audit of where the money is going. And what does that tell you? What does that tell you? He's another politician on the take. All right? Except this time he's wearing a blue tie. I love California and it's my home, and you won't hear me making blanket statements about its demise, but it's unfair to give his leadership and policy a pass on this when it can be directly correlated to their decisions. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you all of that. And I'll say everything that you're saying is true. But also what I'm saying is that there is a bigger problem here. That the corporation's greed is completely out of control and they own all of these politicians. And us as citizens haven't figured out a way to hold these politicians accountable enough to the point where they're literally out in the open going, it's okay for us to do insider trading. You cannot prosecute us for that. And it's okay for us to take air quote gratuities. I mean, that's the shit that we should be up in arms about. And we should also be on the same page. But Fox News and CNN handle that every fucking day with another 24 hours of dividing us. The guy goes on to say, many people who have spent 20 plus years fighting homelessness have written about the failed policies which have been counterintuitive to the cause. It's not as fun to read about as other topics, so I understand why people don't, but it makes it hard for anyone who dedicated their lives to their causes if we just blame the Iraq war. Okay, sir, but don't minimize the Iraq. It's costing us billions of dollars a month that we don't have. The reason why every fucking year they go, should we shut down the government or do we print another $1 trillion is because of that fucking war. And you know who made a fucking mint on that? A bunch of corporations. Anyway, you're not wrong about that, but if we're going to blame Reagan's 35-year-old deregulation, we need to blame recent deregulation and mismanagement that allowed this to happen. Absolutely. Absolutely we should. All right? But my fucking thing is, I don't want you to be yet another guy who is a Republican who's going to blame this guy because he's a Democrat, or if he's a Republican, I don't want you to be a Democrat just blaming him because he's wearing a red fucking tie. The bottom line is Reagan, the reason why that guy got a 3-month fucking funeral is because of the amount of money that he made super fucking rich people. And what was funny was Herbert Walker called it voodoo economics until he got put on the ticket, and then he clammed up about it. And then all of a sudden started talking about trickle-down economics. They actually had the balls to use the word trickle. Like we're sitting there with their tongues out waiting for a drop of fucking wealth to come off a leaf. I mean, you can't do shit like that. It's like global warming. They knew this shit was coming. The late 1950s was the first time scientists were warning them about what was coming. And they didn't do a fucking thing about it. All right? So you can go back to the root of it on some level. But people like, I don't know. I understand the points you're making, and I agree with them 100%. And I am not surprised at all that this guy is not doing what's right for the people. Okay? So he's not doing what's right for the homeless problem. I will go with that. But I'm also saying the reason why we have this fucking homeless problem is not because of this guy. This guy came in and this was a problem. And he was supposed to solve it. And once again did the crooked politician thing for a payoff or a gratuity. I'll go with you on that. But what I'm saying is, how did we end up with this fucking homeless problem? All right? So we're kind of in agreement here. I think. All right? See, there you go. There you go. That's called reaching across the aisle. In the end, we're both kind of hammered going, you know what, you're a good shit too. All right, first time in 46 years. Billy Ballboy. I know your disdain for career politicians and your love of a good stat. So I wanted to share one of these stats that fall into the category of may never be broken category with you. For the first time in 48 years, the presidential election will not feature a Bush, Clinton, or Biden. Every election since 1976 has featured one of these names in either the feature or headliner role. Is that right? So I would say in 76 it must have been George Herbert Walker ran and didn't get the nomination. But wait, why would he run? That was Nixon. Not Nixon, that was Ford. Well, that's interesting. Well, maybe he tried to... Don't they just... No, wait. Back in the day, would they try to, like, take out the standing president in your own party? I can't remember. And then I remember Bush ran in 1980. And that's when he did the voodoo economics. Oh, wait a minute. He's going to bring me into the White House. This guy is great. And I'm a Herbert Walker fan. And then, sneaky Bill Clinton. 8 years of that horse shit. And then you had, you're not going to fool me again. That guy, the oil man. The oil man, but he threw a strike in Yankee Stadium. That's the funny thing about Clinton and Bush. They don't get held accountable because Clinton crushed it with a fucking saxophone solo on Arsenio Hall, and George W. threw a strike in Yankee Stadium. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a hell of a fucking pitch. All right, and then when Obama ran, did Hillary run? No, Biden. Biden was okay. Biden was with Obama, and then he's with Obama again, and then Hillary. Oh Jesus, she fucking ran in 2016, and then Biden 2020, Biden 2020. Well, that's fucking amazing. Have a great day and go fuck yourself. Well, thank you so much. All right, grim version of Monopoly. Hey, Bill, I heard you take on the Monopoly board game last Monday. I wanted to put forward a rule change that made my family uses... A rule change that my family uses when we play it. We call it, "You're coming with me" roll. We call it the "you're coming with me" role. I already love this. Whenever someone is put out of the game, they can make a single roll of the dice. If the dice come up snake eyes or boxcars. What is boxcars? Is that double fours? What would a boxcar be? The player who put them out of the game is also removed from the game. Not only is it a lighthearted way to exit a game of Monopoly, but it low-key reminds us to be conscious that it's possible to push people too far. It also talks about how we're all connected. That this guy firing 3 people is going to eventually lead to more people living under a bridge. A lesson that seems to often go ignored by people at every social level with which I've interacted in recent memory. And that, once again, being that it's possible to push people too far. The idea of being respectful in victory and in defeat seems to have going out of style after Gen X, since running our mouths unsupervised in the 70s and 80s usually had immediate and possibly devastating consequences. The helicopter parenting of today doesn't pass that lesson on. It's not helicopter parenting, it's social media. Is that you can talk wild amounts of shit. There's people that actually tweet at professional fighters telling them that they're bitches. I mean, it's just something that you wouldn't do back. You would have to run into them in a bar and say it, and you wouldn't. Take her easy and fuck you, you old rusty cunt. I like you old rusty cunt. I could turn that into a country song. I don't give a fuck, stay off my porch. I don't give a fuck you and your lit torch. I'm not racist. I just don't like living near other people. Leave me alone. I'm just an old rusty cunt. Advice. Parents hid from my retardation for me. What? Advice. Parents hid my advice. Parents hid my retardation for me, not from me. Hey, Billy Bingo Balls. I am a huge fan of your comedy and your recent movie, Old Dads. You guys absolutely killed it. I would like your advice. I'm in my early 30s and recently have found out I have Asperger's, but I found out in an unconventional way. My mom and my lovely wife were together and discussing why I am so into my hobbies and other weird things, and my mom tells her it's the Asperger's. My wife confirmed that my mom was not joking when she said it. Well, wait a minute. Were you ever professionally diagnosed, or is she just saying that? My wife told me the next day, and while I did get a good laugh, I was also horrified. It explains a lot of my behavior over the years. Wait, if you're like psycho into hobbies, what is the thing? I am, where is it? Discussing why I'm so into my hobbies. I'm into my hobbies. That doesn't mean I have Asperger's. I'm into my hobbies because I have depression. And if I sit still too long, I start going into a funk. But if I play drums, it makes me feel good. Fly a helicopter, ride a motorcycle, go to the gym. You're into hobbies and other weird... hobbies are not weird. I think you're getting gas. So far, I'm going to say you got gaslit. And your mom didn't want to be a mom. Or didn't understand you, or whatever the fuck you were into. Wait a second. What are your hobbies? You know, what do you build ship models, or you getting peed on by prostitutes? I mean, I got to figure out what you're doing here. Okay, it explains a lot of my behavior over the years. At the same time, it has affected my self-confidence, and a lot of friends have said we had a feeling, which is hilarious, but also doesn't feel great. While I don't plan on changing how I live my life, I am a little pissed that my parents couldn't tell me to my face. Should I confront them about it, or just live with it and try to forget it? I don't even know what Asperger's is. Hang on a second. I gotta go online for a second. I gotta figure out what is Asperger's. Hey Siri. I hate when people do that. asbestos. I'm not spelling it right. It's not Asperger's, it's Asperger's. 10 symptoms of Asperger's. Oh, Jesus. How funny it would be if you guys heard me in real time just fucking diagnose myself. Symptom number 1, underdeveloped social skills. Individuals with Asperger's syndrome often have difficulty in social interaction. They have trouble making friends and maintaining relationships with friends. I don't have that problem. I never shut the fuck up. For this reason, they find that they are much more comfortable with those who are either much younger or much older than themselves, as they do not know how to act. All right, I might have a little of that. I get along great with kids and old people. But I get along with people. I get along, but that's just, I have a crushing need to be liked. So I think that, all right. Symptom 2, selective mutism. In children with Asperger's, selective mutism refers to situations where the individuals feel they were able to speak freely with those that they feel comfortable with, but may not speak at all or very little to those they do not feel at ease with. In extreme cases, selective mutism can last for years. Oh, all right. Symptom 3, inability to empathize. Individuals with Asperger's can often seem as if they are insensitive or uncaring towards other people. I'm not reading all 10 of these. Difficulty with eye contact. Restricted interests. They can have narrow or restricted interests that are focused. Interests can be model building, drawing, video games, or more. I don't know. Okay. All right. Oh, so your wife's kind of shitting on you here. I hope you make it back to Wisconsin soon. Your last show here was the day I got married, so I couldn't attend. Hope you and the lovely knee and the kids are doing well. Thanks, and go fuck yourself. Look, if it's bothering you, I would be like, why didn't you ever say anything to me? I can tell you this, though, in defense of them, they probably didn't say anything to you because they probably thought that was the right thing to do because they didn't want you to feel like there was something wrong with you. However, that doesn't mean that you go around and talk to everybody else about it but you. So maybe that, be like, listen, I get that you didn't say anything to me, but like, you know, it's a little weird to know that you're saying it to other people. I would approach it that way. I wouldn't go in there with anger, you know, and try to make eye contact. Sorry, I had to do something to make it funny. All right, Lowe's blows. Hey, Billy Bosox rules. I have a question for you. I used to work at Lowe's. This was during COVID in 2021. I got hired within 3 days of applying because, like most places, they were hungry for workers. When I worked there for those 3 months, I noticed how shitty lower and middle management was. But I needed the gig because I was homeless at the time, and that shelter sucked. Anyone saying to a homeless person, why don't you just go to a shelter or mission, should have to spend at least a month in one of them before saying such bullshit. I wanted out of that asylum as fast as I could save money. What I soon found out about the store was the top manager had quit the day I arrived because he hated middle and lower management because they were so bad at their jobs. And corporate wouldn't replace them because they were already running on a skeleton crew due to COVID issues. I noticed their little cliques and they allowed their buddies to screw off while they shot the shit with those crappy managers. But if I took a couple minutes to sit down and have a cup of water, working outside 100-degree weather, they threatened me with termination. But I knew better because they were already working with the skeleton crew. My job was labeled seasonal because I worked in the lawn and garden section. And during the winter months, they locked that area down because of the snow. So they told me that if I wanted to stay with them, I needed to apply on the computer. We clocked into work daily and put our names down for other areas of the store. So I did that, and after a week, nothing happened. So I went to the manager, told them about it, and they said, yeah, you have to sign in on the computer where you clock and apply for one of those jobs. But I already told this person that It was like I was talking to a dog. So I told them what I had already told them, and they said, you must have done it wrong. So they took me over to the computer and did what I did a week earlier, the exact thing. Same exact thing, and they said, okay, you're good now. So another week passes, and I still got no response. So I go to another manager and speak, and they said the same thing. I got hot in his face and said, again, I did what you asked twice. You even put the information in the second time, the same as I did the first time. And you said that I made an error. Well, this person then went on the defensive because my tone was less than pleasant, as I hate being gaslit by morons. So we went back to the computer and did the same thing again, and this person said, okay, you're good now. You should be hearing from someone soon. But as they tried to leave, I grabbed this person by the arm and said, okay, that's 3 times now. I did the same thing you did twice, of which you accused me of doing it wrong, just to get the same response. Will it get a response this time? The idiot said, yeah, calm down already. You're good. Ha ha, yeah, wrong. The last time I met up with this person, I walked into their stupid little office. I threw down my stupid vest that had the word associate written on it, like I'm working for a law firm or something. Gave them their stupid little inventory computer thingy. They never seemed to work. Gave back their box cutter and said, you're fired. Perplexed, this person said, are you quitting? I yelled back, no, dummy, I'm firing you guys. There's a marketable difference in the phrasing. This person, the idiot they were, and most likely still are, said, you can't do that. You have to give us 2 weeks notice first. That's why I shot back, hey, if you fire me, do you give me 2 weeks notice first? They said, no, that's not our policy. And I finished with, well, this is my policy. Eat shit, motherfucker, and left the store. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, other people heard. I got that look as I left the store. So I got on my smartphone and applied with some other company, and I got the job with them in just 2 short days. The pay was $1 less an hour, but their benefits package was much better. And I eventually got out of that insane asylum. Shelter. Did I do the right thing? 100%. 100%. I mean, what is being a nice person and playing by their rules? What does that do? It makes you go insane. Fuck them. I like what you did. That reminded me of the end of a lot of bad movies in the 70s. Back in the day, if a movie in the 70s ended like that, you would have punched him in the face and then turned around and did the OK sign like Burt Reynolds at the end of Hooper. That was the only thing that was missing. Right into the security camera. Keep up the great work. Your podcast give me strength to not kill anyone and keep going. P.S. This is how Camel Toe Harry got to be vice president. She failed upward from the bottom to middle management and beyond, otherwise known as the Peter Principle. Yeah, we're fucked. Vote for RFK Jr. All right, so there's his political take. All right, look at that. Look at that. 1 hour and 18 minutes, huh? I went long. I'm going to have to pay fucking a penalty with the this is a union house here. All right, you guys, that was it. That was pretty good. You know what my favorite part of this podcast was, other than me getting to talk nonstop for fucking almost 90 minutes, was that Gavin Newsom thing. All right? I learned stuff about that guy, and hopefully that person learned some shit about, my bullshit. And that's the way it should be. You know? That's the way it should be. All right? You feel this like, I don't like Kamala Harris. Great. And you could say that. Good for fucking you. You like RFK Jr. Fantastic. Vote for who the fuck you want to vote for. Ain't these fucking people. That's a waste of a vote. What, to vote for who you want to vote for? It isn't. It isn't. Let's everybody calm down and let's be fucking cool. That's my message. All right? With that, I got to go do this job. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go fuck yourselves and I'll check in on you on Thursday.